The Oral History Project is really an exciting opportunity to capture the history of our profession.
Well, I started out in Berkeley as just a kid that loved to get out in the mountains and the hills, climb trees, rocks, whatever. And so it wasn't too long before that was what I was doing.
Started a sawmill here, and we have been cutting some logs for 48 years.
My initial time with the Klamath was working on the salvage of the haystack fire.
My office was the forest. Opening the door and there's the forest. That I went out into that every day.
I knew there was a lot of things that you do on a national forest, and you had to know how to do it.
You get to see the rings and you analyze the overall growth of that tree.
And it just happened that he had dropped his load onto the chicken farm, and we had a lot of pink chickens. We spent the next week cleaning chickens with our fire engines and fixing houses and so on and so forth.
It's interesting to note that even though the land holdings are quite diminished from what they were in the day, they're still growing timber. Even though the name on the deed changes, the purpose of the property remains the same.
It's not all sitting under a tree talking to the birds. There's a lot of hard work. It's challenging.
Do as much as you can do. Take opportunities when they come to try things you haven't tried before.
His advice to me was, he said, Lee, you're a good worker, and as long as you do that, you'll always have a job. But if you go to school and learn why, you'll be the boss.
Getting into the woods for me is like putting on a whole pair of slippers. Very comfortable.
I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, some of these things I haven't thought about, let alone talked about, in 60 years. I told my wife I was coming over this thing. She says, well, what are you going to do for an hour or so? I said, I'm going to talk. She says, you haven't talked that much in the last 5 years.